Yahawah Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Makakwadash, the one honest to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. This is going to be a lesson on how you've got to learn to watch your mouth, man, and that goes for all of us, right? You've got to be very careful with the things that you say out of your mouth and with the way how you talk about people, man, and the way how you, and if you go about trying to accuse people of things. And the reason why I'm gonna go into this, man, is because of two examples. In fact, the first one being with what happened with this whole polite situation, right, where he was making heavy accusations against the apostles, right, of Great Millstone, and that conversation and that interaction that they had probably about a decade ago is still on the internet now, right? And it's there for people to see. But he was making a whole bunch of statements and accusations on the things to do with the Bible. And then now we've seen, as time's gone on, what he's going through now, right? And then the second scenario is what was happening between the ISUPK and the IUIC, where they got into a scuffle, right? And then you had all these people going in on that, all these conscious community people going in on that, saying, how are you supposed to try and tell us what to do? And how are you supposed to be the leaders of us? When look at how you're going on. And then a month later, you see all of them arguing between each of us for saying, I'd punch you in your face. I'd do this to you. I'm going to punch you in your face. I'm going to kick your ass when I see it. I'm going to pull up and all of this kind of talk. But just a month later, you see how Yahawah sifted through them and found the same kind of quality within them that they was accusing other people of. He found the same thing in them, man. Right? Now, this is Sirach chapter 4 and verse 29. Be not hasty in thy tongue, and in thy deeds slack and remiss. So you're supposed to watch what you say, man. Right? You're supposed to watch your mouth. Right? You're supposed to watch how you talk, man. Ecclesiasticus chapter 5 and verse 13. Honor and shame is in talk, and the tongue of man is his fall. Right? And Polite was running his mouth saying a whole bunch of things about the Israelites. He shut up the Bible. Right, he threatened to have Bloods and Crips come and do things to people and all of this. Right, he said out of his mouth, and I've seen it, so I can say this. I'm not bearing false witness here. He said out of his mouth that if Malachi Z. York, if he found out that he factually, through DNA and all of these things, had did things to 1,000 people, 1,000 children, all of this, right? Then he would, even if he found out that it was facts that he did that 1,000 times and he was guilty of all 1,000, that he would still worship him as his most high. He said that. I'm not lying. And people can look it up and see, right? He said that out of his mouth, right? But then when it came to the apostles, though, he had a whole bunch of stuff to say about them. And that's what I mean with a lot of people there on respect of persons, man. Whereas I can say for a fact that Hebrew Israelites do not do that, man. The Hebrew Israelites that I've ever came across and that I would say that are my teachers, right? I've never seen no signs of them doing anything like that. And that goes for the Hebrew Israelites that I've met in person, that I've seen with my own eyes, right? Plus the ones that I've seen on the internet that I've never met before in real life. They don't be no respect for persons, man. And if a person's going off and they're acting in a certain way, they'll say it, man. In a spiritual way that you can understand that's your spirit being spoken about, man. Whereas among them, they were saying all this stuff about us, but none of them are going to apologize, though. None of them are going to say, you know what, sorry to the apostles because we said all of these stuff about you, but look at what we're doing. They ain't going to say that. And they was trying to call Hebrew Israelites all of these things, right? And say that Hebrew Israelites said this and Hebrew Israelites said that, right? But the first community that we see that there's evidence where it's looking like that kind of stuff is happening, is coming from their community. Because the Malachi Z. York guy, he was also a part of that same kind of thing as what they are too, right? And then now you see that the same thing is being said about one of another person from within that. It's being said from another person within that. And that's why you got to watch your mouth, man. And that goes for us too, because if we, even among us as Israelites, if we go around saying things about people, man, right, then Yahawah can sift through us and see if that same kind of thing is with us and catch us being a hypocrite, man. So you ain't supposed to laugh if you find out that our brother's health's jacked up and he's got sick. he got a disease where he could die. You're not supposed to laugh at him and go, ha ha ha. Yeah, he got that because he's wicked, because he's a demon. Because Job never got sick. Because he was a demon. Right? He got sick and had health problems because Yahawah was testing him. But if you go around saying that kind of stuff, then Yahawah could sift through you and make your health go bad. And now are you going to want people to say that you're sick and you've got health problems because you're a demon? No, you're not. Or you could go around saying that somebody is an R word and all of that, right? And then it's not true. But now Yahawah could send something your way and see if you're going to do that and see if you're going to be that kind of person, right? You could make a bear false witness and say that somebody's an adulterer and they're not. And now Yahawah could put the spirit on a fine woman that is the perfect woman physically in your eyes, but she's got a man, and send her your way and see if you're going to go for that and see if you're a whisperer, man. And see if you're a hypocrite. Ecclesiasticus chapter 5 verse 14, be not called a whisperer and lie not in wait with thy tongue, for a foul shame is upon the thief and an evil condemnation upon the double tongue. So you're not supposed to just be going around chatting people's business all the time when you don't know if what you're saying is true. You ain't supposed to say that an Israelite brother's a sellout because he's dating a heathen woman, right? When now Yahawah might send a fine-ass Elamite or a fine-ass Cushite woman your way and see if you'll deal with her now. And if you deal with her, then guess what? You're a hypocrite. Guess that's what you would be now. You're now a hypocrite because you was trying to laugh and try and come at another brother sideways because you thought that he was with some kind of heathen woman. But now a heathen woman comes your way that you find attractive, right? Now you're dealing with her. Now you're a hypocrite though, in Yahawah's eyes, right? So you're not supposed to be like that, man. And that's why Yahawah's showing these things to us and towards the Israelites, man. That what these people say, they end up getting judged, man, right? And there's a major scoffer of the Israelites right now, right? Vocab Malone, man. And when we end up realizing what he's really about, right? And we end up seeing what his judgment's going to be, that's going to cause a lot of fear on a lot of these scoffers, man. That's going to cause a lot of fear if Vocab Malone was to get judged, man. A lot of these scoffers that he's built up encouraging them to scoff, right? A lot of them are going to be cut to the soul, man, right? Now let me look for some more scriptures. Ecclesiastes chapter 5 and verse 3. Ecclesiasticus or Sirach chapter 8 and verse 3. Strive not with a man that is full of tongue, and heap not fuel upon his fire. So we're supposed to watch the tongue, man. If there's a person that's, they're just going to keep running their mouth when you go back and forth with them, there's no point wasting your time. There's no point. Sirach chapter 9 and verse 18. A man of an ill tongue is dangerous in his city, and he that is rash in his talk shall be hated. So if you go around trying to come at somebody else and trying to accuse them as this and accuse them of that, well, now Yahawah's going to look at you and see what you're saying. He's going to see what you're saying, man. If you're accusing somebody of stealing money or having an extreme love for money, well, now Yahawah might set up a scenario where it's found that you love money too, under the right circumstances, right? If you're accusing somebody just to try and anger them of being an Edomite, right, or calling them a tear, right, or you know that there's a brother that looks like an Edomite, right, but then he is doing the works of an Israelite though, and you can see him doing that. You ain't supposed to call him an Edomite. You're just trying to stir up anger in him for no reason. And Yahawah might send something your way now, right? To where now you feel condemned about whether you're truly an Israelite or not. He might just put a spirit on you where you're doubting that the Israelites even exist. What about that? What about that, man? Sirach chapter 17 and verse 6. Counsel and a tongue and eyes and ears and a heart gave he them to understand. So we're supposed to look at the whole circumstance, man, when we're saying things. As Israelites, we're supposed to be, we're gonna be judges on the whole earth, man. And that's why you have to watch your mouth, man. You can't just run around accusing people of things, man. Because then if you get accused of that same thing that you're accusing somebody of, you ain't gonna like it, are you? And that's why the Bible goes into not being a hypocrite, man. And goes into how we're not supposed to just be telling people, and it talks about take the beam at your own eye, right? Or judge not, lest ye shall not be judged. So you're not supposed to accuse somebody of committing adultery, right? And say, no, that guy's an adulterer, man, he's a demon. But every single night you're sneaking out of some married woman's house with your pants still around your ankles, and while you're pulling with your trousers down your ankles, while you're pulling up your boxes, falling off the balcony into the bushes because her husband came home one day too early from work. But you're accusing everybody else of being adult. You're a hypocrite because you're that same man that you're talking about, man. And that's why even King David, that's a man that's beloved of Yahawah. He was shown that he was being hypocritical in one case, but Yahawah had mercy on him. And the prophet Nathan, I believe his name was, he set the stage to make King David be cut to the heart when he said it. He said there was a man that had multiple sheep, right? And there was another man that only had one. And the man that had multiple sheep went after the man's one sheep that he had. And when King David heard about that man, he said, as such a man shouldn't be made to live. And then Nathan said to him, you're that man. And that's where we get the Psalms 51, man, which is a beautiful psalm. That's what caused that psalm to be spoken, man. That's what caused that psalm, where David was saying, give unto me a contrite spirit, man. We ain't supposed to be running around saying everything about and being carnal and thinking that we're tough guys and all of these things, because Yahawah can bring that on anybody, man. The same demon that one brother's going through today that another brother thinks is easy to handle, right? Yahawah could just, and the one brother might be looking at his, let me say it again, man, Salakia. Two brothers, right, might be facing a different demon at one stage, man, right? And the one brother might be facing an evil spirit regarding money, right? And another brother might be facing an evil spirit regarding women, let's say, right? And they might both be looking at the other one sideways because they're like, man, money's easy to handle. I don't care about money like that. And the other might be saying, women's easy to handle. I don't care about lusting after women like that. Oh, I don't care about this and I don't care about that, right? And Yahawah could just switch it up. And now one brother's got facing the other brother's demon and the other one's facing the other brother's one now. Just to show them both, listen, man, both of y'all better watch your mouths with how you're talking. Because I can show both of y'all that y'all ain't got it to what you think you have. He can do that, man. And he does it to these scoffers. Because that scoffer, polite, was running his mouth regarding the Israelites, man. But now, his own community of people that he was talking about, right, that they was trying to push out this stuff on us as Israelites and trying to make out like we're demons. There ain't no cases from the Israelites that speak the truth regarding the age of consent, regarding the scriptures. There ain't no cases on that kind of activity coming out on us. But there is cases of that coming out on them. So how is it that the apostles could have been accused of such heinous crimes, but there ain't no one coming out and saying anything about them? But the people that were accusers are having things coming out about them. And that's why you got to watch your mouth out here, man. You got to watch how you're talking out here. Sirach chapter 20 and verse 1. There is a reproof that is not comely. Again, some man holdeth his tongue, and he is wise. So sometimes you got to watch your mouth, man. Well, not sometimes, all the time. You got to watch your mouth. Sirach chapter 20 and verse 6. Some man holdeth his tongue, because they have not to answer, and some keepeth silence, knowing his time. Because when these stuff was coming out about the apostles, they wasn't crying and making it and trying to go about the way to defend himself. But Yahawah ended up defending them anyway. Because the accuser, one of the accusers, you've seen what's happening with them now. You've seen what's the accusations of what they was accusing people of being about. He's coming about them, man. Right? And you've seen how other people that was around too are now having to realize and point out that, hang on, there's people from our community that of what we're talking about that was against what the scriptures was talking about, right? That have did the same thing about what the scriptures have said. They've potentially, I'm not saying it definitely, but they've potentially did the same thing as what the law that they had such a problem with in the scriptures says. So if we was living in ancient Israel now, or in future Israel, right, in the kingdom, according to their own saying now, they should not be alive, right? But would they want that to be acted out on them right now? No, they wouldn't. They'd want mercy, right? They'd want mercy. And that's what I mean with Israelites, man. They don't think, man. They don't think. And you have to watch. I'm going to say it again, man. You have to watch your mouth out here, man. Because Yahawah, oh, Salah. Yahawah can quite easily bring the same thing upon you as what you accuse other people of doing, man. Quite easily. Right? I'm going to end the lesson there, man. The overall point of this lesson is that as Israelites, we have to watch our mouth, man, and not go about accusing people of things all the time, man. Because the same things that we might laugh and find mockery in another Israelite, Yahawah can quite easily, because we're getting proud, thinking, oh, I can handle that easy peasy, man. That's minor for me to handle that. Well, Yahawah can now put the same thing that he was putting on that brother to humble him. He can put that same spirit on you quite easily. He can do that to any of us, man. Or he can make any of us have to fight against any of the many things out here, man. Not any of the many Ephesians 6 and 12, man. We wrestle not against flesh and blood. He can make us have to go against any of these different principalities out here, right? Just like how he sifted through Job and searched out Job, man. Shalom.